All right, Representative Omar.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Representative Sarwaz, I'm new here. And you and I have not had a lot of time together. But as you might have read, I am an immigrant. And I come from and was raised in a country that was under dictatorship. To me, your bill and the limitations that it's bound to create, it seems like you want us to live under dictatorship. When I came here, my grandfather talked a lot about what is great about this country. And I know those of you here in this committee and in this body who were raised in the privilege of being protected in a constitution that is designed for most of you. Having earned new privileges as a citizen in this country, I hold dear a lot of the words that are in the Constitution, because they allow me to be seen a little bit more equally here. So I just, in case some of you don't read it as often as I do, I want to read you what the First Amendment says. The First Amendment, religion and expression, which is my favorite because freedom of religion is important to me. Congress should make no law respecting an establishment of religion, or prohibiting the free exercise thereof, or abridging the freedom of speech, or of the press, or of the rights of people peacefully to assemble, to petition the government for redress of grievance. I know that this bill has you authoring it, but it also has co-authors of almost all, I think, the Republicans that are on this committee. And I know that to Republicans, the Constitution is really important. It's revoked a lot when it comes to protecting our rights. And I'm wondering if you believe the Constitution is important.
Representative Zerwas.
Madam Chair, Representative Omar, yes.
Representative Omar.
Do you believe in the Second Amendment?
Representative Zerwas.
Representative Omar, yes.
Representative Omar.
Do you believe the right to bear arms in the Second Amendment?
Representative Zerwas.
Madam Chair, Representative Omar, yes, I do.
Okay.
Representative Omar.
So there is a lot of conversation in this country where people are trying to create limitations within the Second Amendment, the right to bear arms, because some people believe that when we have young children that are killed in the schools because we have a madman with a gun, we need to have certain regulations for it. Do you believe certain regulations should be created for that?
Representative Zerwas.
Madam Chair, Representative Omar, yeah.
Okay, wonderful.
Representative Omar.
In your bill here, and in the testimony that you gave, you talked a lot about spilling into the roads. What I'm trying to figure out in reading the bill, and again, I am new here, so I might not be very fluent in reading these bills. I would like to know where the clarification is and where the language is that specifies spilling into the roads and what is considered unlawfulness and how we are, as citizens, supposed to know where the boundaries exist within this law that you have right now.
Representative Zerwas.
Madam Chair, Representative Omar, on line 1.8 and 1.9, it talks about participating in an unlawful assembly under 609.705 and being present at an unlawful assembly under 609.715 or committing a public nuisance under section 609.74.
Representative
Madam
Omar.
Chair. So in Saturday's protest with 100,000 people present, there was one person who was arrested, and I presume the charge is probably for lawful assembly and nuisance, public nuisance. And so
Madam Chair,
my question,
Representative Zerwas.
Madam Chair,
Clarification.
I think I read that the individual was charged with felony level assault.
Representative Omar.
so in this charge that is going to lead to a conviction in your bill, would that conviction that he might receive get him to be responsible for the police presence of this protest?
Representative Zerwas.
Madam Chair, Representative Omar, I believe the news report was that he was charged with a felony level assault that would not be covered under this bill.
Representative Omar.
Madam Chair. So in 2014, there was a protest that happened Mall of America. And in that protest, there was some protesters, some demonstrators that were arrested. And in the arrests that were made, many of those charges were dismissed. When you have a protest that has 1,000 people, 2,000 people, 3,000 people, and you have few individuals that are arrested out of those people, how are we to decide, or under this bill, how is the discretion made? Who gets to be responsible?
Representative Zerwas.
Madam Chair, members of the committee, on 1.14 through 1.16, it talks about following up on that action, and that it may bring an action to recover civil liability and related legal, administrative, and court costs. And so the language is permissive, and the entity would have discretion as to how they pursue that.
Representative Omar, any further questions? Okay. Our
Madam Chair.
time is up for this bill, so if you could hurry those along, that'd be great. Thank you.
Just a few more. Thank you. We're having a lot of conversations of the cost that is accrued by taxpayers, as you refer to them as property taxpayers. For this incident, as many have expressed in their testimonies, we as citizens already pay for the police to protect and serve. And we will now also have to decide if we maybe take an insurance in case we protest and get arrested, so that we can figure out a way to pay for that, possibly. Or maybe set up some savings for the days that we protest and get arrested. What I am wondering is that in Minneapolis, in the city that I reside in and represent, there is a lot of money that is paid out because the police use excessive force. And so for that, who do you think should be responsible for?
Representative Zerwas.
Madam Chair, members of the committee, I think that's a good question for your city council. I think that's a good question for your mayor. I don't know how that's handled in your city.
Representative Omar.
Thank you, Madam Chair. My question isn't specifically for City Council. It is to you as someone who is worried about where our taxpayer money should be spent on. I'm wondering if you think our taxpayer money should be spent on for us in providing for more jobs, for fixing roads. Do you not also believe that our money should not be paying to pay for excessive force?
Representative Zerwas.
Madam Chair, Representative Omar, absolutely. I don't think you should pay for excessive force. My hope is that as we move forward, the mayor, the police chief, and the police department have those incidents as infrequent as humanly possible. Anytime there's excessive force, it's a stain on the community.
Representative Omar.
So for that particular one, you would like the municipalities to take care of it?
Representative Zerwas.
Madam Chair, I believe, and I'm not positive, but I know in my city, when I was on the city council, the city of Elk River was insured through the League of Cities Minnesota Insurance Trust, where they pay in dues and then their insurance policy pays that. I'm pretty sure Minneapolis participates in that as well. So I believe it would be a league insurance policy that would cover most of those.
Representative Omar.
The city of Minneapolis is self-insured.
The city in Minneapolis turns out is self-insured. So what I'm hoping, since you seem to be someone who's very concerned about property taxes, for us to hopefully maybe author a bill together where we can make sure that the police are responsible for the money that they accrue when they use excessive force. Thank you, Madam Chair.